Welcome back to Education First Academy. Hope you're well. Today we're going to carry on with stage 1, where we're going to look at have you got what it takes to run an early years nursery or daycare centre. The main objective of this particular video will be looking at what are the key skills required by a nursery manager, owner and business personnel who are looking to set up a nursery and daycare centre will have to have in their toolkit. The other thing that we'll be looking at is the relevant childcare qualifications both in the UK and US that will really help you get a grasp as to what is required within this particular field of work. Straight off the bat then, if you want to get into this business, you really need to have a passion for it. Something that you are driven to do every day. You must love to come into work, working with people, working with parents, and especially working with young children. If you do not have a passion for this job and you think it's just business and money, I'd highly advise you now to step away, because the education side of things has to come first. And what we've experienced over the years is taking on challenges is essential. New problems will crop up all the time, problems that you won't even anticipate, the laws and regulations that will change constantly, and issues with your staffing, issues with parents, issues with students that won't even be foreseen. But that challenge has to be addressed and you have to persevere as a leader and as the business owner. Being self-motivated is going to be very important. At the end of the day, nobody is going to be leading the business barring you. No one will run the business barring you. Nobody will be as focused and as determined as you. So you need to be the one ready to take on the challenges, ready to set the standards, and ready to guide others to your key vision that you want for your nursery or daycare centre. And also remember, you will not be getting a regular salary for quite a long time. Initially setting up, doing the background research, starting the nursery or daycare centre, getting your staffing in, getting students in, this is at least a 2 to 3 year process before you may see any returns. And you also have to remember some of your returns will be going back either to investors or back into the business as it grows. So you may not see a return for at least 2 to 3 years. Managing individuals. We put this one first for a reason. It's the most important skill that any manager can have. Managing individuals is all about finding and managing every single one of your staff's strengths and making sure they're getting a chance to use them. To do this, it's important to try and understand their strengths, what activates them, and how they learn best. And the best way to find out all of these is through observation. Spending time in the rooms with your teaching staff is the only way to get to know them better. The greatest managers let their staff existing strengths influence how they run their nursery or daycare centre, rather than the other way around. So why is this important? You need to learn how staff like to learn to get the best out of them. But you also need to learn how they best receive recognition in order to boost their morale. Perhaps it's direct, perhaps it's in front of colleagues, or maybe it's via parents themselves. Communication. Knowing each staff member's strengths and how to use them best is useless if you don't know how to communicate with them. People think communication is about how well you talk, but it's not. It's about how well you listen. If people don't feel like they're being heard, they're unlikely to respond very well to what you're saying, no matter how good it is. Communication is also about organisation, which is what we will cover in Skill 5. If you're not organised, you're not going to have the right information at hand when you need it. So why does it matter? Nothing creates more division in a staff room than last-minute meetings and schedules or being kept in the dark about key developments. This is all about honesty, which we will cover in Skill number 9. But it's also about keeping everyone up to date with what's happening. Building trust. Trust is when your staff value your insight. They understand that you have their back and you are making decisions for the right reasons, not for a selfish one. Trust is also a key part of giving yourself the time and courage to make changes, as your staff will not be disheartened if you don't see positive changes straight away. This is important. Trust is absolutely foundation to everything we mentioned here. Without it, the relationships you have with your staff will never be truly stable. And why does it matter? When you're leading any team, it's crucial that the people who are leading have faith in what you're doing. This is especially true in nursery settings where your staff need to trust your instincts on certain matters. When your staff have trust in you, it makes it easier to implement change and they will have more faith in any temporary imbalances. You will also have a team that works better together and reduce bickering and discontent growing behind your back. Staff development. If you want to keep your best staff, you ain't letting them get stuck into doing the same things week in, week out. Many people enjoy what they're doing, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to find ways to improve. Giving training opportunities to everyone is important, while also making sure that you're identifying those who would benefit from it most. And don't forget to consider those learning styles from Skill 1. Giving training and opportunities for staff development doesn't mean sending everyone on an expensive course. Why does this matter? Even so, it's absolutely an investment worth making. Staff are the most valuable resources. Making sure that they are developing and improving is not only crucial to their morale, but it's crucial to your reputation and the success of your nursery. Organisation. Time is the enemy of any nursery manager or owner. When it comes to staffing, you might know what you want to do, but simply feel unable to give it time. This is organisation. If you can find a way of organising your time successfully, and then you're more likely to find time for things that matter. You're also far less likely to let important things slip. That means fewer last-minute notes or alterations for the staff, both of which can easily damage your relationship with them. Why does it matter? We've already mentioned it, but one of the pet hates for any member of staff is when they feel like everything is constantly being organised last minute. It always feels like your time simply isn't being respected as a staff member, and if you're always given last minute warnings about meetings and shift changes or special training days, it doesn't bode well. Meeting and training days should be a positive opportunity for staff. These opportunities for communication and development should be a central part of engaging with your staff, but poor organisation and last-minute notices can quickly turn them into a negative. Adaptability. Adaptability is not an easy one to pin down, but in general it's about your ability to react to change and move forward rather than just keeping things the way they've always been. As a nursery manager or owner, the chances are you're always pretty adaptable, wearing many different hats, being constantly available, being ready to deal with unplanned challenges. They're always adaptable. But to be one of the best managers, you also have to be prepared to adapt to the big changes as well. Why does it matter? Things are constantly changing in the nursery sector, be it the schoolification of early years or the increased use of technology. If you aren't able to adapt, you'll be left behind. Conflict resolution. It would be lovely if everything was always rosy, but being a nursery manager or owner is part of leading and refereeing others. Conflict between children, between staff and from parents is just part of the job. But to be a talented staff manager, you have to have the tools to deal with conflict properly. A lot of this comes from your existing relationships with staff. Truth, honesty, strong communication, it all helps when you're resolving conflict. Why does it matter? Conflict is an inevitable part of any workplace, but you need to be prepared to resolve it quickly. It will distract you from things that matter and could lower your staff morale. Conflicts that go unresolved can easily fester and cause more problems. They can damage the staff relationships and contribute massively to the dreaded rumour mill. Perseverance. Perseverance is about looking failure in the face and trying again. It's an invaluable skill for managers, especially if you feel like you're faced with some serious staffing obstacles, or maybe you simply feel as though you have staff who are resistant to change. Either way, having the confidence to persevere when it feels like you're only making baby steps and having the resilience to keep going in the face of failure is crucial to build staff trust and get them on board with your vision. Why does it matter? In a very basic sense, if you're the type of person who is going to give up on something easily, it's unlikely that your ideas are ever going to succeed. Honesty. To some degree, this goal goes hand in hand with skill number 3, building trust. Sharing news when things are going well, sharing news with them when you're in a rough patch. Being honest and open about how you spend your time. It's all part of making people feel involved and engage with what you're trying to achieve. This is also about owning up to mistakes when you make them. This can help to foster a sense of accountability in your staff too, which is crucial to running a good learning environment. Why does it matter? Honesty about making your mistakes can also create an environment where people are more willing to share theirs. If you are communicating that you're always looking to improve as a manager, then perhaps your staff are more likely to feel like they have room for improvement too. It also helps them to buy into the vision, and it also helps them to feel part of it. This is crucial to keeping your best staff around to implement the vision, as well as getting other staff to work better. Relevant child qualifications in the UK. There's numerous paths that you can take. Some of the most common ones are doing a level 3 diploma for children and young people workforce, the foundation or HND in early years, and also going via the early years childcare and child development related subjects. It all really depends on what time you have, what courses you have available to yourself, and what stage in your career you're looking to fall on one particular course. I'd highly recommend looking over all the elements and then picking what's best for yourself. If you're in the States, then you'll be looking towards the Council of Professional Recognition, and the National Early Years Childhood Program and Accreditation offers certifications and child daycare administration courses. Each state might have different rules and regulations. Also internationally, if you're going to different countries outside the UK and US, and there may be other courses and requirements by the government which need to be looked at as well. So the next lesson, we'll look into market research and planning. We'll look at your unique selling points that you need to think about, key locations, predicted running costs, where money will come in from investors, and gaps in the market that you need to look into to make sure the nursery or daycare center really has a chance to take off and grow.